Good morning, everyone. Give a second here. All right. So yesterday was a little bit of a whippy day there, huh? And started out the commentary yesterday was, will we get a gap and kind of a gap and go, a gap and snap back, and it didn't look like it could snap back as much as it did, but of course it did. So, kind of where do we go from here? Well, I'm inclined to think that we're going to get more consolidation today. And you've got this big move, off of the low there up toward this resistance. And stop the markets. I'm being asked, can I stop the markets? BS. You need directional trades. Well, Alex, me and you look at things from that similar bias. We want things to move directionally, and we've gotten this counter trend thing where okay, that's somewhat directional, counter to the prevailing trend. That doesn't produce the big moves or the big money, so to speak. Then we can get this kind of continuation, but we'll see what happens into the end of the week, whether this consolidation continues, or maybe you can make one more move up closer to resistance. I'm hopeful that it doesn't go that much further, because I want that big directional move. And the big directional move typically doesn't come from this pattern, right? It comes from one where you get a retest in a bear market. Now, these kind of patterns going back, 2 years ago or so, where the V bottoms were more typical, it was a bull market within an uptrend, and buyers were aggressive. Now, aggressive buyers, have had their heads handed to them, multiple times, and they've become less aggressive. That's the way things go. As a trend continues, and those buyers become more beat up, and things tend to become quiet, and you get retests where the patterns are one in which there's more evidence of a bottom, and this is not evidence of a significant bottom. So we talked about the breakdown failure that occurred here. We were expecting a low in this area for various reasons covered in those videos, which you can go look at. But we were expecting this turn, and here's the turn. The significant or more significant resistance area is right up here. And you can see on the hourly chart, you're looking to the left, there's more bars going sideways there. So there's more resistance, and that's that congestion of opens and closes on the daily time frame. And you can see where that is on the weekly time frame, which would be a shallow retracement. Okay, fine. But what you want to be careful here of is breakouts, because these breakouts are I think, going to have a higher tendency to fail because the trend is down. It's common sense. And so we'll see. If it can go sideways here a bit, that's going to build possibly an area to move up from or down from. So everything we do is based on price action, and what I've said common sense. So you had a nice move up. That creates a price void, which you can see. And it pulled back here. You'll see on the futures, it pulled back exactly to where we looked at yesterday and was marked off. And that's that minor support area there, which lined up where the futures were. And so there was the turn yesterday. And at that point, it was like, okay, does it try and retrace back up into the void higher because of the gap, or do we come back down into the gap fill? And prices were able to consolidate, and they made a surprising large move to the upside, now with resistance and just hanging there. So it's created this choppy price action, which is really rather normal after a move like this in a downtrend. So we'll see how this evolves. And so looking at where this was earlier, the gap down was almost back down to the low, not quite the low, but the open of yesterday. And so it hits this resistance and it's pulling in. So we got a neutral open here. Maybe we get another inside day as institutions absorb whatever's going on and make their decisions. Got a decent looking weekly chart, but the hourly charts still say lower. So we got this disconnect, so to speak, from multiple time frames, which is going to make for some chop. All right, so S&Ps, which we always look at here, and overnight data, it went down, it went up, consolidation day at the 20 MA, at resistance. Yesterday I spoke about 2 wide range bars, or 2 days ago. I said, don't discount that, even though we might get some consolidation. So 2 wide range bars is bullish, which you can see is the big bar on the weekly time frame. So next week we'll get into monthly time frames. So let's see where this kind of settles in today and tomorrow. So far, it's just consolidating, bullish price action at the top of a wide range bar. So it's building up some support. However, in a downtrend, if this had happened in an uptrend, that would be, a very powerful signal that prices are going to go lower. Whereas right now, it's a good signal that prices could go higher. But I'd love to see today another dip. I'd have a little more confidence myself for a move above these highs, but not a significant move. And so we can see this consolidation, the distance between highs here, the momentum has slowed down, which it's supposed to do after a big move like that, right? So there was the buyer on the dip, and now look, there's this hesitancy, which should be after a big move, and it's building some support areas. So at SPX today, I'd love to see 38.50, 36.60 down below. All right, let's start there. What Jacob is suggesting, which I didn't write down what I saw before. Yeah, I like that, Jacob. And so I've gotten emails as like, how do you come up with these levels? It's really common sense. There's no proprietary software or algorithms or anything like that. You take into consideration the trend. You can take into consideration, is there support or resistance? You take into consideration the range of the bars, and I don't have to measure them. What I could put something here that an average true range day to day or whatever, and I could see what the bars are, and it's like, okay, again, I like to call it common sense. Here's a big bar recently, right? 3,900. Let's call it 3,800, right? 100 points. I look at this. I look at where prices are. I'm like, okay, that is a big bar, right? Compared to these, right? The biggest, right? On the way down was the huge one. That was an igniting bar. So now 100 points. Could this thing move 100 points from where prices are right now, right? Where they're gapping, which is right around here. And so I would say absolutely not. That doesn't mean there's going to be premium there. So where are they at right now, give or take? Let's just call it 37.70 and 100 points, 38.70. Jacob, we're at 38.50. That's good enough for government work. Now, and 36.60 down there, that's good. And now you look at what I like to call, what are our lines of defense? Well, initially, right, no matter what we're trading, the first reference point of resistance is the prior day's high, and support is the prior day's low. Is there more than one bar there? In this case, we got 2 around in the same area. Then below those areas, are there other support lines? Gap fill, other bars, and so on. Can I show an options table? Yeah. So 38, just see the juice, 38.50. 38.50 for calls. Whoa. That's kind of amazing. Oh, 150. I don't know if that, I have to look on TC because I just opened that. It was minimized. Yeah, 38.50 is 55 by 65. I don't know why that's not updated, but anyway, I can show you in the green room. 38.50 is 60 by 85, and 36. Where is that number? 36.60. I'm not sure these quotes, they don't look right based on what Jacob told me. 20 by 25. That doesn't look right. Those numbers. That's what TAS is showing too. What I showed in e-signal or on TC, what I mentioned in TC. 38.60 is not enough. 36.60 is not enough. You have to go to like 36.90 to 36.85. Right. 36.85. 36.85 down here. I think, well, look, so one of the things is it possible it could go there? Yes. Is it likely it could go through there? Unlikely. Why? Because it would be there's going to be buyers there. So even if it was going down there and it's giving you, a twisted stomach, will it bounce from there? Because when it bounces from there with 0 DTE, they're going to get crushed. 38.50 is too close. Well, again, McGraw, we'd prefer higher, make it a no-brainer. But if it got there, it's going to hit the wall. There's going to be sellers up there. So we can always wait a few minutes to see which way it begins to move. Alex Anthony, 0 DTE, is that any day of the week? It's any day of the week for SPX option spreads, Alex. Every day. At one time, it was 3 days of the week. Now it's every day. Yeah. Yeah, and 3,800 is big open interest, right? Typically is, right? Yeah. So it's been stalled there, as we can see. Now it's gapping down a little bit. It's consolidating. If it gets through it, it could run up there, but it's going to hit the next resistance area. And so, then is there a big open interest there? I'd have to look, but more than likely it would be at 3,900. So, all right, just a little short lesson there. Somebody wants me to look at U.S. I don't look at Forex, but we can look at, where did it go? J. I had it there. Mistyped. It's just dead in the water. It got crushed. It's still bearish. But it's just sitting here, kind of like Bitcoin. It's trying to lift off, but doing nothing. I've never looked at this to see if it has a correlation to Bitcoin. Not exactly, but look, the dollar continues to be resilient. I talked about this pullback, looking for buyers to step up here. Look to the left, and they did. And so these currencies are going to get beat up as the dollar, moves up. This will move down, and vice versa as the dollar topped out. So Look at W. It's gotten pounded down. No, oh, look at the W, a W pattern. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, the dollar. Yeah, I can't look at the dollar here. It doesn't show the DXY. I can just look at UUP on the weekly. Still an uptrend, a little extended. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm reading the chat. All right. So let me continue. No problem. So, these indices have been forming similar patterns, just whipping around here. The Dow just whipping around, same pattern, nothing much going on, which is good for the credit spreads, just whipping around. Russell here, same big wide range bars. I gather these are selling call and put spreads. Yes, DB Puck, that's exactly what we're talking about, selling credit spreads, either calls or puts. Silver had that monster move and it's at resistance, so that's just consolidating. It outperformed gold in a big way, but that finally got moving and it's consolidating there. And well, crude oil, right? You hear Saudi's now going to slow down production, and our fearless or fearful leader going to Venezuela asking for help. How embarrassing is that? We had so much oil, being produced. He stops it and then he goes and asks them for help. Same resistance area, crude oil that's reached its limit, and I think for now. So that leads to just more consolidation, and of course, the energy stocks just ripped higher as crude oil came off of its low. So pretty good correlation. You go back a couple of years ago, crude oil and these energy stocks didn't have that such a tight correlation. It was like crude oil was going up and energy stocks were just sitting there doing nothing. So these connections, into market connections, they tend to come and go. I mentioned, I think yesterday, was like there'll come a day where no one's going to care about interest rates anymore. Not that they won't care, but they just won't be monitoring them the way they are now, where they're in such focus. So, the 10-year now flip-flopping around. So we don't have any clear direction as we look at these intermarket relationships for the next day or so. But you can see, this is extended. It had a hell of a run, so it makes sense for it to consolidate. And so we'll just see, that how things are going to play out here. The 3 month is just sitting there doing nothing. So everything is just consolidating. So don't get chopped up. Credit spreads are good. Intraday trades are good. By the way, MT Live seems to correlate with moves in the market, which unfortunately for me, I miss them because I look for those intraday directional moves. And by the time MT Live was over, the move was about done. But so it is. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, we still have full 100% bullish positions. I said yesterday my bias was day trade long over the high, day trade short under the low. And before that 830 number, I actually was thinking the downside was going to play out. Right now, we're still in the upper third, play it by ear, manage our opens. I had an alarm just go off on Rambus here, so I see it tick up here, 2848. So if that is real, then go ahead and sell half at the open. And today is Thursday. We did a beautiful breakout trade there. And on Monday, after breakdown failure, look at that beautiful moving average relationship right there. And that was confirmed by the closing breakout. Yeah, pins I posted, put spread, Could be a directional 30-minute high, but it's up a lot here now at 26. But nice bottoming pattern. You know what? I'm going to add that to the core list. Here's, and we can go through this later because it's always, you know, let me put a date on here too, so you know. So here's my current watch list. You know, we actually got into coin and PDB this week. Those are both on my list, so we're in those. Asian, I'm trying to get us into here real soon. PayPal is, you know, I had it on my core list over here, and then the breakdown, I kind of lost interest, but I left it on there. I just need more time is all. ENPH. Yeah, put it on an intraday thumbnail, see how it sets up. Perry beat. Okay. McGraw, I like how you I like how you help me with cousins. That's another beautiful moving average analysis. I mean, not analysis, existence. So it's actually not gapping up with the cousin. But here I'll put that in a window with you because that's a good pattern. And remember yesterday, MT Live trading on news. So that's one of the concepts that we taught is look at the cousins. Raul asking about Merck. We actually put on a put spread on that yesterday. It's gapping down here a little bit, I see. So nah, it would have to get over yesterday's high to interest me as a long. But it's an inverse head and shoulders. We sold the 86 puts. Let's see what else we have over here. This, you know how I like looking at a chart and just let your eye immediately go to the most amazing setup? On this one, it's right here, this red bar ignored and bullish gap, and then bullish engulfing close right here. That was an amazing entry. And, you know, this thing's on fire now, nothing to do with it, but just, and, you know, even though we miss a trade, it is so good to look at a good pattern and then you see what it did, because that's another, I call it a movie. And isn't that what seasoning's all about, of seeing what happened to candlestick arrangements? And then it just, you get thousands and thousands of prints in your head. So the next time you see that, I would have been all over this stock, over this bar's high. But guess what? I didn't see it. I usually blame Greg when we missed a good setup. All right, here's a 1, 2, 3 after 100% retracement and a price void. So I'm posting this as a put spread, but it's also, you know, 30-minute high. The market's iffy. It's coming in here pre-market. This would be a great 30-minute high trade. So let's put it over here. Ryden, I already have an alarm. This is a penny stock coming out of a coma. Yeah, I thanks for that support, Alex. So this thing is in a total death trend. I don't know what the news is, but maybe it's coming out of its death trend, or maybe it's just a pump and dump. Who knows? Not really my wheelhouse. Hubs bottoming pattern. This was a great put spread, but it was just too spready. But it's still worthy of watching because it has room. It has room up to the 50 MA. This natural gas. We had a put spread on this last Friday, and the stupid thing stopped us out on Monday. But look, it has a nice 15-minute day yesterday. Could be another put spread. Let's watch it. 30-minute high. Piton laying off another 12% of their staff. That stock just looks like it's in trouble. Shell. This is a bear island reversal. I posted a bear call credit spread on this one, 55.60. There's my Riven alarm going off right now. ITGR, beautiful bottoming pattern. It's light volume. 30-minute high over yesterday's high. That looks like it can go 69 bucks. Costco, I posted as a put spread. This is a climactic buy setup, 180 reversal, higher low, major support over here from May low. Today's Thursday. If it gets over Tuesday's high, no brainer put spread. Look at Riven middle chart moving right now. So that looks like it's going to be good to go if we get filled. Pins, we already talked about, put spread. T2 had this is a double bottom, climactic, retest, gap up, continuation pattern. Now it's gapping up again, though, is the problem, to 121. But that's a put spread idea. Yeah, I was kind of surprised the oil is down with the production cut double what they thought, right? I thought they expected a 1 million barrel cut. And then, yeah, did you all notice how Greg was trying to agitate me already? Pre-market, such a beautiful day out. And he's like trying to agitate me with the Biden oil policy. But our reserves are at the lowest since 84, and there's absolutely zero reason for it. So don't do it, Greg. Don't do it. You know, I read about this in the journal. This was a this is a reinsurance stock that the paper was saying they are going to be making more money now, you know, raising their rates after the storm. All right, so I'm just going to say Riven is good to go. Joseph, give me 1 second. I gotta. I said over 36.39. So Riven's good to go with Phil. Joseph's asking about Tesla, Twitter. I trade, I will avoid. My put spread. Yeah, Joseph. Well, all right, Joseph is saying he doesn't like Tesla, Twitter because of Musk. I cannot blame you. There is, I make that clear all the time. There's higher risk with that Twitter man behind the scenes. We actually had Tesla call spread in last weekend's letter, but the gap messed it up. And we actually had a Twitter put spread in the letter 2 weeks ago, whatever, 10 days ago. And we had a nice profit on that pop because this thing was holding amazing strength while the market was weak. A couple alarms here going off. All right, Merck, I have a low alarm because I set my alarms early, as you know. I'm just going to reset it to 87 now. Let's see what this Rambus did. All right, Rambus. All right, it did not gap up here. See, so I moved the stop over here, 27.18. And, you know, we're still fine. The four, wow, IWM has the biggest 5-minute bar right here. So we're still bullish as of right now, 932, even with the gap down. Look at the AD line is rising, I'm sorry, the VIX down. So I'm still bullish here. Doesn't mean I'm aggressive. All right, that's rising, looking good. This looks like a good directional too. It's just how aggressive you want to start putting on new longs here. I said earlier I like 30-minute high, but it's coming out of the gate right now looking really good. NVIDIA up alarm. We have a put spread, Zulu Sierra. We have a 1 DTE. That was a nice entry yesterday. Since it's only 1 DTE, we should have a beautiful open gain right now. That's 40. So yeah, I mean, we do have a nice game, but I would actually expected more, which is fine. It expires tomorrow. I'm gonna set a new alarm, 185. So NVIDIA up 250 now after being down. Nice. NVIDIA was a nice bottoming pattern we got into yesterday. So new alarms, 136, 130. All right. If NVIDIA were to close right here, that is a beautiful buy.